In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 6 myths and facts on eating gluten-free. Now, there are tons of articles and there's a mountain of information on the internet about living the gluten-free lifestyle. So if you have celiac disease, or you are gluten intolerant, or perhaps you've just been following the buzz on the gluten-free lifestyle and you're thinking of starting maybe a gluten-free diet, well, this is for you, so stay watching. Hi, I'm Mike Hines from JustKnowGluten.com, creator of this channel, Gluten Advice. If you like the video, you like the content, why not give it a like or subscribe to my channel. Also, hit the notification bell. That way you're always informed when we post new videos. We post on here 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So why not pop back from time to time? There's bound to be something you've missed. Okay, let's get on with the content. There are tons of articles and so-called expert advice on the pros and cons of eating gluten. So much so, people are avoiding items with gluten when they shouldn't. In addition, others feel that this newfound allergic reaction is complete fiction. But behind the fake news and articles and scare tactics, there is some validity to the information. If you're someone who believes you have a gluten allergy, or if you're interested in learning more, let's set the record straight with these myths and facts. Very soon you'll be an expert in the world of gluten and perhaps identify some common misconceptions and truths. Myth number 1. Gluten is bad for everyone. Let's look at the facts. While the internet makes it seem like gluten is the devil's protein, it actually comes with some pretty awesome health benefits for those who aren't gluten intolerant. Foods with gluten have a high dosage of vitamins and minerals, and that can be beneficial when taken in moderation. If you've been diagnosed with celiac disease, ADHD, depression or anxiety, it's suggested to avoid gluten at all costs. If you don't experience any issues with gluten-based food, feel free to eat it, but in moderation. Myth number 2. Gluten is fattening. Fact. While many of the foods containing gluten aren't necessarily the best for your beach body, in other words, pasta or bread, however, gluten itself isn't fattening. In fact, gluten adds a healthy amount of protein to your diet. While we're not suggesting piling on the pastas and breads, gluten in moderation and in healthy forms is good for you. Myth number 3, and this is an important one. Gluten intolerance and celiac disease are interchangeable. Fact is, you're wrong. The two disorders are completely separate entities that deserve individualized attention. However, do remember that living a gluten-free lifestyle is beneficial to those suffering from celiac disease. Celiac disease is an autoimmune disorder that is triggered by eating foods with gluten. That's why doctors strongly suggest staying away from them to avoid disastrous side effects. Myth number 4. Not eating gluten makes you gain weight. Fact. Weight gain is associated with a diet high in sugars, carbohydrates and processed foods. Inactivity is also another reason for slowed metabolism and increased weight gain. Gluten in itself doesn't impact your metabolism. It's the foods you choose that make the weight gain pile on. Dietitian E.A. Stewart, RD, confirms this myth by stating, there are a variety of symptoms that may occur with gluten sensitivity, but undesirable weight gain typically isn't one of them. Myth number 5. Eating gluten-free is a made-up illness. Fact. Gluten sensitivity is a real problem that impacts roughly 6% of the population. This protein doesn't allow your body to absorb specific vitamins. An ever-present accumulation of protein in the body impacts absorption greatly in those with an aversion to gluten. Myth number 6. You can only eat fruits and veggies. It's no secret that having an aversion to gluten makes choosing the restaurant for a date night a bit of a challenge. But there are several alternatives to gluten that will make life a bit more enjoyable. Nowadays, many grocery stores and restaurants are offering gluten-free alternatives to some popular food items. You can now find gluten-free bread, rice and condiments, something that was unheard of a few years ago. This makes eating gluten-free easier and a lot less of a burden. While there are several myths surrounding gluten consumption, the truth of this protein is slowly coming out. If you believe you have an aversion to protein, it's best to analyze your symptoms and check with your healthcare professional for confirmation. In doing so, you'll be able to learn why you're experiencing these symptoms and how to deal with them. Now that we've got the myths out of the way, let's talk about how to start living gluten-free. First of all, de-glutenize your kitchen. When you decide to go gluten-free, you have to prepare yourself for a bit of a learning curve. Now it's going to take a little while to figure it all out. Allocate some time to go through your cupboards and your pantry. Check all your condiment labels and your salad dressings. Inspect ingredient labels on pre-packaged soups, rice and pasta dishes. You're also going to need to go through your freezer and your refrigerator. Thing to remember is that many frozen vegetables and meat mixtures have gluten in their sauces and gravies. Now this will all seem a little bit overwhelming. Why not break it down into sizable chunks? Just do one cupboard or one fridge shelf at a time. Once you start reading the labels, you're going to find that many of the fateful foods you've been buying on autopilot every trip to the grocery store no longer fit in with your new diet. If these foods are still unopened and brand new, why not consider donating them to your local food bank? Have an empty box on every inspection and pass on what you can no longer use. It's fairly safe to assume vegetables, lean meats and pure dairy products are free from gluten. Unfortunately, the majority of our snack foods and prepared meals are highly processed. If you eliminate processed foods and go back to cooking from fresh ingredients, you will naturally be avoiding gluten. Try incorporating more salads, vegetables and homemade dips, homemade hummus, delicious soups into your weekly meals. Also be aware of the signals coming from your own body. Don't just rely on reading the food labels, it might just leave you vulnerable. You are going to know if you have ingested some form of gluten when your skin or bowels suddenly flare up. Starchy fillers and cross-contamination may be the culprit. Why not make a list of all the names gluten and gluten-related ingredients may masquerade as? Keep the list on your phone or in your wallet for easy reference. In time, you will get to know certain ingredients and the ones which to avoid. A good suggestion is to meet with a nutritionist and a dietitian to help with this huge lifestyle change. You will obviously want reassurance that you're still getting all of your minerals and vitamins and necessary nutrition from your new diet. Educating yourself about healthy, complex carbohydrates that are gluten-free can be exciting as well as challenging. How about learning some new ways to cook your old favorites and how you can make healthier substitutions will help you feel empowered. Since some grains are either enriched or natural sources of many of the vitamins and minerals, it is important to ensure that you're still getting those vitamins and minerals once you eliminate those grains. Do make sure you are meeting the daily requirements for calcium, iron, niacin, riboflavin, folate and thiamine. The reality is that with a little care, you will lose little nutrient value in letting go of gluten-based foods. Just make sure the replacement foods are wholesome and healthy. Good choices will add to your vitality. Poor ones will mean simply changing one set of problems for another. With just a little forward planning, you can easily make your new gluten-free lifestyle easy for yourself. Hello, I'm Mike Hines from justknowgluten.com, creator of this channel, Gluten Advice. Hope you enjoyed today's video and you found it interesting and informative. If so, why not give it a like or subscribe to my channel. Also, hit the notification bell, stay informed of all things gluten. We post videos on here 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. Again, thanks for taking time out of your day to view the video. I'll speak to you soon. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye for now.